Good afternoon. I'm Professor Chair. I'm working for Daejeon University in South Korea. So I want to talk about a little bit about smart factory. So I will share some kind of experience and the trend on smart factory in Korea. So I don't want to go further some deep academic theory, but just the trend and government support of the program, something like that. Under the theme of future works, Industrial Revolution 4.0, many people are joining in these events with full of academic passion. Especially, I'm very interested in topics such as smart factory, IoT, and smart farming. So I now talk about some smart factory things in Korea. South Korea has embraced the fourth industrial revolution. One of the main areas will be for smart factories in Korea. South Korea aims to build about 30,000 smart factories by last year, 2022. We almost done about almost 30,000. So, South Korean government create a support program, a financial program, convert to all the factories into carbon neutral smart factory. Those looking to convert their factories in Korea, smart factories, will get financial support from the Korean government of $360,000 US for reaching, we say, medium 2 level. Medium 2 level means we going to use some kind of data. In Korea and in India also, now we collect tons of data from manufacturing sites and all other application sites. But it's going to be no use. It's not analyzed, not applied to improve the facilities and environment. So our smart factory level 2 means we want to use a lot of data by analyzing, using some kind of AI theory and big data theory. So that's going to be very important to improve the manufacturing line and the supply chain and everything. So smart factory is a factory that has undertaken digitalization and the network of all process, products, and resources. It has fully embedded automated solutions that are being used for manufacturing purposes. Therefore, smart factory is when the production process is combined with digital technology, smart computing, and big data, and also artificial intelligence. In order to achieve this, the factory will need to have advanced network to create automated manufacturing environments, such as 5G networks. We deal about many data, so it's going to be faster networking for handle these kind of tons of data. So we need some kind of facilities for supporting this kind of smart factory algorithm. So I will discuss about some this kind of technology to apply in the smart factory, and also I'm personally interested in smart farming. So we can use this kind of technology to farm land. Just we could be able to use some kind of a machine, and also we want to collect some data and weather data and some kind of campus data and all kinds of data from farmland. we want to analyze all this data and improve the yields. So this is going to be very important for in the future. So I will talk about a little bit about later about this issue. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Am I audible? Yes. Thank you. My name is Tapas Mishra. I am a professor of financial economics. I'm the head of banking and finance at the Southampton Business School, and I'm the founding director of the Center for Empirical Research in Finance and Banking. Well, before I go to this innovation aspect of Industry 4, it's about youth consultation, isn't it? I think it's very interesting, impressive. I think I'm the wrong person at the wrong age, at the right platform, I guess. Right, look at my age. Anyway, so let me give a bit of a background of my own experience. Before I know that we have several students here, some experts here, and they will understand a bit about what is exactly Industry 4, its historical perspective, the evolution of the innovation, etc. Being an academic, this is what I normally specialize. Go into the deeper details of what this technology about, what it can achieve. Well, let's look at this way. Before going back to the technical side of Industry 4, let's try to understand it from a very individualized philosophical perspective. Let's say when I began my career, I was in the high school and I had absolutely no idea where I would land up, let alone just sitting in front of you speaking about Industry 4, etc. But I had dreamed something, but that dream was a bit of a bubble. And you know, the bubbles, when they are filled with a lot of explosive expectations, and if you don't give a strong foundation of imagination and innovation to that, that outer layer of the bubble can break every time. Right? So you have to make this bubble, the outer layer, very, very strong with innovation and imagination. Right, so at the initial stage, whatever happened, whether it is for the technology or the industry or whatever, just like our individual itself. So you start having a very strong foundation, initial stage of any growth story, think about it, any technology, industry, etc. So you begin with a kind of foundation, and a shaky foundation, you do not know where you will land up. Just like I know Professor Otchito Samantasawa, American founder's life story. I think I share almost the same type of life story as him. He used to be a teacher, a lecturer at Dinakrishna College, where I used to be a student. And I think his and my life stories are exactly almost the same. Anyway, so what I can relate to here, a very sticky foundation. And then, when you have that type of imagination and competitive skill set, I will come back to the technology later. I'm just trying to give a very similar example. And then you try to think about what I can do to survive a system. So at the initial stages of the growth, the survivability becomes a very big problem. Similarly for the technology. To design technology, so thinking about at 1780, where this Industry 4.0 began. At that point of time, we are thinking about mechanization. Then from mechanization, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we are also looking for Industry 5, personalizing everything, every single aspect of the technology. But what happens now, that during this process, you try to innovate techniques so that you can survive the system. Then there will be a lot of expansion, lot of growth. And then upon you achieve an optimal amount of growth, then you can think about how you can redistribute the growth for the greater growth, greater welfare. This is how the industrial evolution, the technological evolution is also taking shape. It's whatever is happening outside, it's all happening inside us as well. Technology is just a philosophy, right? And just if we are talking about a philosophy machine robots, etc. I am a machine, you are a machine, sir. Yeah? We have experienced exactly the same type of, same stages of growth of the technological evolution as the robot or other machines as well. So I will probably focus a bit more on the way we understand innovation and the way innovation is actually is in sync with the greater needs of the human society. So normally, whenever we talk about innovation, that is sometimes really being scoped or limited to the desired purpose of the human need. Okay, for example, I need a kind of microphone that can amplify my voice manifold. So that's a technology, right? I'm not talking about this Three Idiots. That one, that's where he was asked what is the technology or something like that. Then he was trying to explain something, and then he said everything is around us is technology, right? But whenever we talk about innovation, normally all sorts of innovations, they are being underscoped or limited by their use. So I just need a kind of technology or some innovation that can serve certain types of purposes. But when we innovate, who innovates? Our mind, right? And when we innovate certain things, certain technique, we don't actually stop there. It has its multi-dimensional core of achieving the greatest things. But we are limited to only a certain aspect of the technology. But this is where the futuristic vision of the technological evolution comes. So when we talk about the Industry 4, basically here we are trying to achieve through 9 different pillars of Industry 4. Say mechanization, automation, a lot of many other things, robotics and artificial intelligence. I specialize on this memory-driven artificial intelligence stuff. And here what we are trying to achieve the highest amount of efficiency, mass production, mass diffusion. But then the innovation that we are doing to achieve that amount of efficiency, somehow they are not actually in sync. This is where I would like to take some questions from the audience at some stage. But we are limiting our innovation only to make it sync with what we need. But when actually we innovate, it is its multidimensional, its diffusion is actually really great. This is why we are leading to now Industry 5 instead of Industry 4, where we are trying to match man and machine. It's just like all these sci-fi movies you might have watched, that is how what robots can do, what machines can do. We are trying to humanize the machines. So that is to personalize our needs or achieve our goals. We can customize everything using the technology. So that is a different type of innovation that will in the future will be achieving it. But largely, the innovation that we have so far achieved with respect to Industry 4, it is just to optimize our efficiency, mass production. But somehow we have missed the bus that we have not really understood the way innovation works. And we have probably missed a number of years by not appropriately translating that synergies of technology or synergies of innovation to the greater good. Probably about 50, 60 years, something we have actually missed at the amount of time. So I will take more questions or I will have more discussions later on, but at the moment I just pass it on to the next speaker.
Thank you. I think no need. Thank you, myself, Professor Kiran Hazarika, presently Pro Vice Chancellor of Indira Gandhi National Open University. Earlier, I'm Professor of Hindi. Basically, I'm Hindi professor. Earlier, I was engaged in University Grant Commission as a commission member. And I have engaged myself to making so many policies in education, higher education sectors. Today's topic, it's a very nice topic. The first one is going on. The fourth generation industrial revolution. It is a very good topic because presently we are going through the industrial revolution. Industrial revolution in so many aspects. We cannot say that only the industrial, suppose in medicine sector industry we have developed ourselves, in the IT sectors, In IT sector, you see that now the good technology, because coming out, because from 2015 we are practicing in fourth generation industrial revolution in our country from 2015 onwards. So you see that in the IT sector, now we are using blockchains. Suppose in our university, so IGNO, very recently in the 3rd April, we had our 36th convocation, and we awarded 2,79,000 degrees through the DigiLogging system. In a single touch, our student will get their degree. So 2,79,000 degrees we uploaded in our DigiLocker system. Our documents, our data, because it never finish. So such type of technology we being developed ourselves in India. To secondly, you see into the medicine sector. In medicine sector, now the life-saving medicines we are producing in India, in is a very less prices we are. But that is the same things in America or other countries, European countries, it's so costly. Therefore, the industry in the medicine sector, the industry in our country, it is going up. Presently, for the medicine sector, every country looking to India. So we are developing such type of hospitals, Apollo, Fortis hospitals, Max hospitals, aims like good medical institutions in our countries. So in medicine sectors, we also develop. You see, during the COVID, sir, already our moderator told that during COVID, how we develop ourselves, how we took the challenges to overcome. So during our COVID, you see that our all over the country, all the world, countries or states have become collapsed. But during COVID, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced Atmanirbhar Bharat, 20 lakhs thousands packages for the startup in Laghu Udyog, small scale industries. So you see presently the effect of this Atmanirbhar Bharat, we have 3,45,000 startup units all over the country in India presently. So 3,48,000 units as a whole they are producing good numbers of innovative product. Startup means it's innovative. And 3,48,000 innovative startup is being developed in our country. So this is a very important point. During COVID, we overcome the challenge. So such type of now industries are growing up in every sector, in medicine sector. Plastic bags, we are getting zero bags. Biodegradable bags are coming in the market. So this is sustainable development. In every sectors, we are going to have sustainable development in our country. So it's a very good and innovative point. Because in the 90s, our government in India, presently the industrial policy is being changed. Earlier policy up to 1991, it was based on the globalization of economic globalization based. But presently, our government changed the total industrial policy. It is based on our country. Our country need base industry we are going to develop in our country. Therefore, you see the last 2.5 years, the ratio of the development of in industrial area, you see the last 5 years, but last 2 years after COVID, the graph is going up high speed. We are touching sky. This is the result. This is possible by our students, by our young generations, because the India government, the whole policy based on the population, there's a 65 populations. Out of 65% population is a young population.
So we have to generate our young population for our futuristic development. That's all, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Namaskar and good afternoon to everybody. So respected panelists, and it's very unique for me because of 27 years back I passed out from this institute. I'm sitting here and delivering. And second unique is that my name is the Indian flag. It gives me a lot of pride. And this is my fourth interaction on the G20 things. And another point is that when I got the topic that in future work, industry 4.0, innovations in future, let me tell 1 minute about me. Actually, I run a technology company of 3,000 people, pan-India presence, global presence also. We are last 2 years or 3 years, we have been focusing industry 4.0 to making some of our offerings to the customers, and innovations and ultimately skills. Let me tell you that it's in very perfect timing, position to take advantage of 4.0, industry 4.0. Because India is going to be the manufacturing hub of the world. The thing is going to happen. So we have to think and talk on this subject. You know, as you say, rightly, innovation is happening because aspiration society, India is having youth capital, a lot of startups is coming up, that is fact. But we cannot miss the bus, this industry 4.0 or 5.0, if you want to roll. Because India is also going to be skill capital of the world also, because of our the education system, the youth, number of youth, the size, the things. So it's a wonderful topic, and we all have to think. Definitely the future work, the way we look, and pandemic added beautiful, I think it's a blessing in disguise. Yeah, we have suffered a lot, but country like India, we come back, we fought with the pandemic, we come back, and it has shown our thought process has changed, the way we are looking at. It's giving a fruit of thought for everybody, as a businessman, education is also institute also. We have to make ours the future workforce to build them different way, in terms of giving the inputs, in terms of the change of curriculum, in terms of giving the job-like experience kind of things, and also reskill the people who are having. If you want to stay in the line, stay active or stay different in the market, each workforce, it's a job for the industry, academia, and everybody who have to work hand in glove to ensure that we will meet the challenge of the world. So it's a very unique time this thing is happening, and we all have to work. Because Industry 4.0 is very close to me, because I have been, my team is working on that, Industry 4.0. We are building some applications on that. Yes, I have seen that we have implemented some applications, some of the organization. We have seen that how the existing forces are not able to cope up with that things, with a different mindset. Because definitely people are, I think somebody questioned me, I think last week I was in a session in the Madrid, the online session. They are building a, what is there, that analytical capital of the world. Spain is speaking on that. I was part of the session from, depending from India. So how people are, they are right now thinking that line. So we have to take to all the people, I think your students who are here, and even the professors here, we have to think differently, not though we are thinking 2-3 years back. Post-pandemic, Industry 4.0, the organization expectation from the individual as an employee or workforce is going to be different. The work environment is going to be different, especially in the manufacturing sector. So on this topic, this is a very good topic to discuss. I'm looking forward to learn more from here and share my view. Thank you so much.
Namaskar. I'm Deepthi Rautray, ODC exponent. Actually, today my topic is presented before you, Future of Work, Industry 4.0 Innovation and 21st Century Skills. Being an artist, I will not touch the aspect of Industry 4.0 because
Black tea. Enough.
So I will deliver future of work in terms of innovation and future skills. So with the use of technology. Many people know that technology only used in science and medical, but technology also used in dance and music. So with the use of technology in workplaces, organizations have been able to increase their productivity and efficiency at a rapid pace. Processes that were once manual and time consuming can now be achieved in a quick and efficient manner with digital tools, applications, and systems. So, in my case, during COVID-19 pandemic situation, the dance classes as well as the teaching learning process were conducted through online mode. Students from different corner of the world were also benefited. The different cultural programs were also organized by online mode and virtual mode. In my opinion, technology played an important role for imparting skill development activities and upgrading the knowledge of every individuals. So I think technology also used in dance and music. I would like to say, I think I decided do a dance drama like Ramayana. So अगर हम लोग मैं सोच रही हूँ रामायण करने के लिए और उसमें मैं नॉर्मली जो लाइट कुछ फोकस हो रहा है उसमें टोटली रामायण में प्ले करूँगी तो आप लोगों को देखने के लिए मज़ा नहीं आएगा पर जब राम आते हैं तो वहाँ पर एक सूदिंग लाइट आना चाहिए फिर जब रावण आते हैं तो थोड़ा सा रेडिस थोड़ा सा ये वाला लाइट आना चाहिए तो उसमें क्या होता है एक जो सीक्वेंस जो है वो मतलब कैरेक्टर वाइज सब कुछ चेंज हो जाता है जो माहौल जो है एटमॉस्फेयर सब कुछ चेंज हो जाता है तो ऑडियंस को ज़्यादा अच्छा लगता है तो इस वजह से मैं कहूँगी कि हम लोग लाइट का जो टेक्नोलॉजी है उसको हम यूज़ करते हैं आजकल पहले जो होता था जब हम लोग रिकॉर्डेड म्यूज़िक को यूज़ करते थे डांस प्रोग्राम वगैरह में तो तब क्या होता था बस एक जब मैं बोले हूँ मैं जब 7-8 साल की थी तब दूरदर्शन केंद्र कटक में था तब मैं गई थी एक छोटा सा रूम में वो सिर्फ 2-3 कैमरा था बस वही में हम लोग शूट करते थे हो जाता था पर अभी भुवनेश्वर में दिल्ली में जो दूरदर्शन केंद्र है बहुत बड़ा हो गया है टेक्नोलॉजी इतना एडवांस हो गया है कि हम लोगों को जो पिक्चर तब आता था अब बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा आ रहा है तो टेक्नोलॉजी हम लोग भी यूज़ करते हैं एज ए डांसर मुझे तो साइंस मेडिकल ये में टेक्नोलॉजी यूज़ होता है आप सब लोगों को पता है पर मैं तो उस बारे में बता नहीं सकती मैं एक आर्टिस्ट हूँ मैं एक डांसर हूँ सो डांस में हम लोग कैसे ये टेक्नोलॉजी को भी यूज़ करते हैं लाइक जब पैंडेमिक सिचुएशन में हम लोग क्लास वगैरह करते हैं जूम में और गूगल मीट ये सब पहले नहीं था हम लोग क्लास नहीं कर पाते थे ऑनलाइन बट अभी हम वर्ल्ड वाइड सब कर्नर को टच कर रहे हैं थ्रू ऑनलाइन मोड सो डांस में भी हम लोग टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज़ करते हैं थैंक यू
Yeah, I mean, that's what. So, I think we had a look at those 3-4 different domains. Maybe you do one round picking specific questions to the specific panelists. I think Professor KIIT told about basically smart factory. So, I wanted to know the notion of startup in India because India is going very big in startup. So in the smart factory space, do you see a role for startup or is that an opportunity or a challenge? How do you sustain startups in that space? In the smart factory area, but what do you do about startups? You said the government is paying some money as incentive for people to set up smart factories. But the startups could be enablers, building technology for smart factories. So do you see any? Do you have any comments on that?
Basically, the smart factories for the just medium sized the companies, not for the startup. It's, smart factory is going to be applied in the some kind of manufacturing line. They just made their own product.
But you don't need enabling technologies and all that to be built by others to be added to the smart factory or...
Yeah, this kind of smart factory technology is not going to be applied in the startup, small companies. So it's going to be about medium size, and some kind of big company will use these kind of advanced factories. So.
And what about manpower for these? I mean, are they readily available, or there are specific requirements for manpower in the smart factory area?
Yeah, just I want to share my experience about smart factories. I just visit many companies to evaluate how they are doing for the smart factory after they got supporting money from government. So the problem is here, Professor Tapas Mishra said innovation is just not just for the technology. The innovation is start from human, especially for the mind, especially for the younger generation. I think this is a very important chance to have a younger generation has some kind of mind change for the innovation. Innovation is not just for the applied technology in the machine. I think it's just change the mind is very important. So some of CEO and company owners said they just adopt smart factory system and some kind of advanced technology. Just because some younger generation leave companies, they just figure out why younger people leave our company, my company. The solution is they don't want to work in some not managed some kind of difficult working side. So they just improve the manufacturing line and the working environment. They want to improve something like that. So that's just because these kind of technology and innovation real need for younger generations. So I think this is not just for the problem is not just for technology. This is going to be about the people.
Abbas, you are obviously looking at finance. I see that you are heading the banking finance and you are director of some research group, but they are related. Okay. So one of the things that as faculty we all find this: what do you do about the students? You know, I mean, the way the technology is changing, how do you kind of plan for them? How do you do curriculum design? This also applies to Dr. Kiran for you after this same question. So what do you do because this last 5-6 years, you know, is something that's been driving everybody mad, because by the time you finalize your syllabus, you know, there's another bunch of things that is coming in. So what do you train your student for? How do you train them to unlearn and relearn? So how do you address those kind of issues?
Thank you. This is a very, very interesting question. May I ask the audience a small question before I answer to yours? Why do we need to innovate? And what is basically constant in our life? Is there anything that you can imagine? This is the thing that is really constant in our life. I think it is just the speed of light. That is what Einstein told, that the 2.86 million per second, that is the only constant in our life. Otherwise, everything is dynamic, especially uncertainty. So, whenever uncertainty is so dynamic, it keeps changing its patterns. all the time. And we have to be resilient. We have to adapt to the needs of the time. This is when the innovation becomes interesting. In particular, with respect to the education sector, in our university, we are fortunate to have, I come from Southampton University. It is one of the world's top Russell group of universities. And the students we take, they are really highly skilled, especially with respect to quantitative ability. And most of the students I am in banking and finance, they are really heavily trained in artificial intelligence, deep learning, neural network, all this stuff. Because we use them really so very well in finance and banking field. Especially if we are looking at sustainable finance, green finance, open innovation, those are the kind of things, and fintech. So these are the things that we regularly use, this type of top level of technology, like this is artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, etc. So it is a bit easier for us because of the skill set the students have, that they are already embedded. But during COVID, that was a very big challenge for us. But we used some existing open source technologies available, education technology in MIT, Harvard, many other places. Plus, Southampton University has itself innovated a number of education-related software. And also, I have myself introduced a new limited company called Sustainable Innovation and Prediction, called Sinnovate and Pred, one company I have introduced, where I train for free some of the underprivileged students who cannot afford with artificial intelligence, machine learning, Bayesian mechanism, neural network, and they can use them. I give them jobs to analyze very big financial data, cryptocurrencies data, environmental data, and some of them also work for the medical industry as well. For example, I work with some medical doctors who wants to predict the brain images. For example, somebody has a kind of brain cancer or brain tumor. And madam, you were talking about the light change. It was very interesting. And normally we have the scan. So from the scan, we can see, for example, over the years, how the images have changed. So we try to translate those scans in terms of readable numerical form into the machine. And then we use deep learning methods and different methods to predict, given different types of socio-economic, environmental, and different types of conditions, how the brain function is going to develop, or how this person is going to suffer from the next kind of element. So we use different types of, say, even finance students also, with deep learning interest in this type of subjects. And we employ them to, for these purposes. So for, in the education system, it's always a challenge, but depending upon which type of university you are in and what type of training students have. But especially for Southampton Business School, it's a bit easier. Especially our students come from China. They are heavily quantitatively skilled with computing experience and efficiency that are almost unbeatable. Russian, German, all the students those come, really very unbeatable experience. So it is a challenge, but we have overcome those challenges with whatever resources we have at hand, and plus the innovations we have made. Thank you.
So you're basically looking at the final year
Yes,
as
yes,
a training ground
yes,
to cope with.
yeah.
So what is your response to that? How do you cope with the rapid changes?
Yes, thank you. You see, basically, as a man of higher education, so you see the new education policy 2020, the main principle, there are three principles in new education policy. The first is innovation and research. The education policy, the first education policy which is based on the innovation and research. The another one is inclusive equity. And the third one, technology-based education.
there are, amongst three, there are two related with our topic. So you see especially in education sector, so education ministry and especially the higher education ministry already we design a Swayam portal. Swayam portal. Earlier the Swayam portal, we were depend upon an QSERA. QSERA, that is as open MOOC systems, massive open online courses. So in India already designed a good largest portal, that is Swayam portal. And Swayam Prabha is there. So we have included in this 287 courses. Even you will get the medical education, other technology education and general education systems, management systems are there. So a student, suppose a student can, if he want to not attend his classes regularly, suppose he is attending Swayam portal classes from his home, so he will get his credit. So already higher education system, there is a great portal, that is ABC, Academic Bank of Credit. This is National Academic Depository Portal. It is already been launched. What is education system become a technology-based education system in India? So by this portal, even in the COVID-19 period, in 2020, all over the country become a chaos. School, colleges are closed. That is in April 21, UGC circulated 2020, UGC circulated one circulation, one letter. The UGC open, 60% classes can be in offline, and 40% classes they can opt in online mode. So this is recognized by the University Grant Commission. So by this technology, the university, a student can get he can assess his knowledge through other online systems. So this sort of development being done in the higher education department, even in the school education department also. On the basis of the new education policy 2020, now for the school education, up to preliminary, pre-primary to up to +2 level, already one module curriculum being developed by the ministry, and it is already uploaded in the portal. That is it is designed by the NCERT. So this module can be accessed because 80% content it is pre-designed, and 20% left for the local relevant issues. Suppose for Odisha, Odisha can develop their state, as per their state need, some content can be developed in this portal. So this sort of relevance of the technology being developed in our country. Thank you.
Would you allow me just to complement something with him? Sure, just yeah. So technology is extremely important.
Yeah.
For diffusing the knowledge to the wider masses. At the same time, we have to be careful that rediscovering the discovered things has its own charm. When you talk about innovation, there are two types of innovation people talk about, incremental and radical.
Yeah.
Right. So with the existing or the extant knowledge or vast knowledge that we have with respect to the digitalization, it is possible that we are trying to do a lot of incremental innovation. But if we want to do radical innovation, it is extremely to rethink of her. So redoing the same thing by yourself without looking at anything else. So this is an extremely important thing. Yeah, I will come back to this later on. Last, please.
I think looks like we are running out of time.
Yeah.
3:55. The next session is starting. So you, I mean, from the industry side, where do you see the skill gap and what do you do about it? Because again, the people who are available in the market may not be what you need for VR 4.0 and all that. So what is your thought on that? How do you address them?
You know, it's always a egg and chicken kind of concept. And SME like us, it's big company, different perspective. SME is always a challenge to skill people and get people as per the expectation. But many times, let me tell you that example that with pandemic. So we are working with a lot of financial institutions. So and they can stop that. You can stop those projects also. So during lockdown, and they said that people have to come to the office, but it's not possible. So that difficulty also allows us to think differently, build some application, build some platform, to reskill the people, build a platform, reskill the people over the night, I think a couple of weeks, and put them into job on the working from the home. Similar way, every time we used to understand the requirement and try to work out in-house to train the people as per requirement, and because you cannot get exact fitment as per the requirement you have. So we have to in-house kind of thing to train the people and make them ready for the requirement.
The only thing is that may not be feasible for small companies to do a lot of in-house training when your numbers are small.
Yeah, but they should. I
continue.
understand one should of the culture of training and reskilling the internal people and training and learning department division in the organization.
Take care. So, ma'am, in the dance area, what role do you see technology playing from innovation building? Because I don't know exactly what do you do in terms of innovation. I know you talked about Ramayana and dance drama and different lighting and all that. But in the core discipline, do you see a lot of innovation happening? Is technology kind of going to play any role there?
Yeah. Actually, डांस एंड म्यूज़िक में बहुत सारा इनोवेशन हो रहा है. लाइक मैं अपना जो एक्सपीरियंस है वो शेयर करना चाहती हूँ. जो मैक्सिमम पीपल नहीं, मतलब उनको पता नहीं है कि जो तंत्र मंत्र यंत्र ये सब पूजा में लगता है, पर ये डांस में भी लगता है. तो मेरा जो अभी मैं जो रिसर्च कर रही हूँ तंत्र इन ओडिसी डांस, तो ऐसे भी मतलब जैसे 64 योगिनी मंदिर है, कामाख्या देवी है गुवाहाटी में, तो हम लोग वहाँ पर जो तंत्र यूज़ होता है पूजा में, उसको लाके कैसे उसका मुद्रा, उसका जो मंत्र होता है उसको हम लोग डांस में यूज़ करके ऑडियंस के पास पहुँचाते हैं कि लोगों को भी पता लगे कि डांस इटसेल्फ ए डिवाइन. सो डांस में भी हम लोग तंत्र मंत्र यूज़ करते हैं. तो उसके बाद मेरा जो मतलब ये जो टॉपिक है ये तो आर्ट एंड कल्चर में थोड़ा मतलब नहीं जा रहा है, बस मैं अपना एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करना चाहती हूँ स्टूडेंट्स लोगों के साथ. तो इनोवेटिव होना चाहिए. सिर्फ डांस को और म्यूज़िक को हम लोग एंटरटेनमेंट के थ्रू नहीं लेना चाहिए, इसके थ्रू हम लोगों को बहुत कुछ करना है. अगर ये स्किल किसके पास है तो वो उसको डेवलप करे, वो स्किल को अपग्रेड करे, अपना लाइक काम करके करे. स्किल ओनली एजुकेशन में नहीं होता है. एज ए डॉक्टर, एज ए इंजीनियर, एज ए सिविलियंस, ऐसे स्किल उनके पास नहीं होता है. स्किल्स आर्ट एंड कल्चर में भी जो स्किल जिनके पास है, ज़्यादातर लोग समझते हैं कि डांस और म्यूज़िक को हम लोग प्रोफेशन नहीं कर पाएंगे, इसलिए वो लोग बोलते हैं नहीं सिर्फ पाठ ही पढ़ना है. सिर्फ एजुकेशन में पेरेंट्स जो है वो बेसिकली वो स्ट्रेस दे रहे हैं कि नहीं एजुकेशन चाहिए, बट वो नहीं जानते हैं किसी के अंदर बहुत कुछ ऐसा स्किल है जिसको हम लोगों को अपग्रेड करना चाहिए. हम लोगों को उसका स्किल डेवलपमेंट बच्चों का क्या है, उसका अगर डांस में है, म्यूज़िक में है, तो उसको उसमें ज़्यादा जो इम्पोर्टेंस देना है. तो ऐसे ना करते. ये एक इनोवेशन मेरा है जो ऑटिस्टिक चाइल्ड होते हैं, स्पेशली मतलब डिफरेंटली एबल्ड जो होते हैं, वो रीडिंग और राइटिंग में नहीं होता है. तो उन लोगों को क्या होता है, उन लोगों के अंदर एक गॉड गिफ्ट होता है, किसी के पास आर्ट होता है, किसी के पास अच्छा सिंगिंग होता है, किसी के पास डांसिंग होता है। तो मेरा जो फ्यूचर का जो मैं इनोवेशन कर रही हूँ, तो उन लोगों को कैसे, उन लोगों के अंदर जो चीज़ है उसको कैसे हम लोग निकालें। आज मैं अपनी एक्सपीरियंस बोल रही हूँ, मेरा जो बेटा है वो ऑटिस्टिक है, बट ही इज़ वेरी एक्सेल इन ओडिसी वोकल एंड मर्दला। सो वो भी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से स्कॉलरशिप होल्डर है। तो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कल्चर, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया भी मतलब इस बच्चों के लिए और आर्ट फॉर्म के लिए बहुत कुछ कर रहे हैं अभी। लाइक जैसे हम लोग पाठ पढ़ के जैसे हम लोग स्कॉलरशिप ले रहे हैं, स्कॉलरशिप लेके आगे अपने एजुकेशन को बढ़ा रहे हैं, वैसे डांस में भी है जो 10 से 14 साल के बच्चों को दिया जाता है, फिर 20 से 25 तक एक सीनियर होता है, उसके बाद आप किसी में रिसर्च करो तो वो फेलोशिप भी मिलता है। सब कुछ गवर्नमेंट का है, पर उसको
यूज नहीं होता। Thank you. So anyway, I think Madam is going to continue the same topic for another 1 hour. So audience questions, you may please take it up there. And I have a lot of questions. I think Madam talked about autism inclusion. How does the inclusion get addressed in across industries, across training programs? What do you do? I think that's a big topic for discussion. And another interesting topic is in the new education policy, talks about vernacular medium-based education. Yeah. How does industry react to it? Is that a good, bad? Obviously, there is good, and that's why it's been encouraged because it gives opportunity to more people. But for an industry, for other media, how does it help? So a lot of questions. I think you get a sense of how complex the task is. So with that as an apology, I want to wind up here. I think everybody has stuck to the time that we planned. So whatever 1 hour that we have, we've been able to make use of it. Too short for getting any conclusive output, but at least hopefully some thoughts would have been triggered in that. So thank you. So we'll stop here, and with a thank you to all the panelists.
Thank you, sirs and ma'am, for a very insightful discussion. Your opinions and views truly reflect the diversity of the future. Due to little shortage on time, we'll continue with we'll not take any questions right now. The next theme will also be on the same topic, so we'll be taking audience questions at that time. May I now please request our Vice Chancellor ma'am, Dr. Sasmita Samanta ma'am, and Director Dr. S.K. Mahapatra to please come on stage and felicitate our guests. We thank our dignitaries for having a very great first plenary session. We request the audience to please take their seats. We'll start our second discussion very soon.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bola kale.
Thank you so much, sir. So we will run. We request the audience to please be seated. We'll be starting our second discussion. The topic of the future of work is so... Students, may I please request you to take your seats quickly. The topic of future of work is so interesting that one session is not enough. To continue with our discussion, we have the same theme, future of work, industry 4.0, innovation and future skills. For this second round of discussions, we have Dr. Professor Susmita Samanta, Vice Chancellor, KIIT deemed to be University. She has received over 25 awards from different national and international organizations for her outstanding contribution to the field of education and leadership. She is a perceptive academician and popular teacher in the field of organizational behavior and leadership. She will also be the moderator for this session. Joining us today is Professor Geeta Das, Vice Chancellor, Berhampur University. She will also be joining us offline today. We have with us Professor Mark S. Wrighton, President, the George Washington University, USA, joining us virtually. We have Mr. Ravi Kumar as CEO, Cognizant Technology Solutions Corporation, USA, joining us virtually as well. We have Mr. Basant Kumar Mishra, Senior Vice President and Global Head, Delivery and Operation at Tech Mahindra, Hyderabad, joining us virtually as well. We have Dr. Krishna Dev Kumar, Director, Artificial Intelligence and Aerospace Lab, Toronto Metropolitan University, Canada, joining us virtually. And last but never the least, we have Mr. Sambit Nanda, Senior Director, Oracle Corporation, San Francisco, USA, joining us virtually, making this a true use of technology and making this a hybrid session. I would now like to request our moderator, ma'am, to please take the discussion forward. Ma'am, please.
Mr. Sambit Nanda, Senior Director of Oracle Corporation, San Francisco, USA. Mr. Basant Kumar Mishra, Senior Vice President and Global Head of Delivery Operations at Tech Mahindra, Hyderabad. Dr. Krishna Dev Kumar, Director of Artificial Intelligence and Aerospace Lab and Professor in University of Toronto, Canada. And Mr. S. Ravi Kumar is not able to join. And for Mr. Gautam Kumar, just before few hours, his father-in-law passed away, so he has written his regret that he would not be able to join today. So we'll be starting with 5 panelists. Another one panelist is there with me, Madam Professor Geeta Das, who is the Vice Chancellor of Berhampur University from the state of Odisha, where we are also established. So 5 panelists will be there. So can I start with Professor Mark? We all are listening and discussing in many forums that slowly the nature of jobs are changing and the skills, whatever was existing, whatever was required from the youth, slowly we are finding that the job requirements are changing continuously. We all are discussing that technologies are becoming disruptive either in every quarter, in 6 months, 1 year, and 2 years. And when the new technologies are taking the place, we are finding that new skills are being required. So can you say that how the universities are restructuring their content or restructuring their pedagogy, as the students can learn the technology, learn the skills, whatever is being required by the industries or whatever is being required by the jobs. And if any job, any skill they are learning in the university, and whenever the new skill is being required, how you are equipping themselves in the university itself, as such they will be adaptive to the changes, or they would have sufficient enthusiasm with themselves to learn it quickly to match to the requirement of the industries. Yes. Professor Mark, please. Yes.
You would like me to begin?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I very much appreciate the opportunity to participate in this very interesting panel. And I've been to India several times. I regret that I could not travel to be with you in person, but I hope this technology works for all involved. I can see and hear you quite well, and I'm going to give a presentation focused on the role of universities, higher education more broadly, the role of higher education in preparing people for jobs and for creating new jobs. And I've been the president of the George Washington University for about a year and a half. This follows a 24-year tenure as the equivalent of president of Washington University in St. Louis. So I'm quite experienced in academia. I spent the first portion of my career at MIT. I'm a chemist by education, and I spent 23 years at MIT. The last 5 of those years, I served as provost of MIT. I attended a large public university in Florida, Florida State University, for my undergraduate degree, and then went on to a very small private university, the California Institute of Technology, for my PhD in chemistry. I then joined MIT immediately. This was about 50 years ago, so I have a degree of chronological maturity, at least, and a lot of experience in academia. I can't tell you very much about the future jobs. I think predicting the future is extremely difficult, and what I have seen in the last 2 decades is phenomenal in terms of the changes that have occurred, the opportunities, and I'm looking forward to being alive long enough to see the next couple of decades, which I know will be very important in terms of a future for the world. What I would like to do is to share my screen. I hope this works, and I have a PowerPoint presentation that I would like to use to illustrate my presentation. I will turn to that just now. I see that the host has disabled participant screen sharing. I'm hoping that they can release that disabling.
Not us.
Screen share. And someone who is serving as host, enable to share screen. Thank you.
Sir, you are not audible to us. Perhaps it is muted. Please unmute yourself.
I'm
Yes,
unmuted.
yes, now it's audible. Yes.
Okay. I'm speaking to you from Washington, D.C., just 3 blocks west of the White House and 3 blocks east from the State Department of the United States. This university was founded, inspired by George Washington, who had the vision that there would be a strong university in Washington, D.C. The university was founded first as Columbian College in 1821 and became George Washington University by name in 1904. We have about 25,000 students, somewhat smaller than Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology. I've enjoyed learning about your university, and you have a very good history and serving a large number of people in India. We have a broad array of programs here as a comprehensive research university. We have many professional degree programs as well as strength in science and engineering. And I would like to note especially that we have strength in the health sciences and related areas, especially public health, which is a very important program just now. Here are some of the images of the university. We have some facilities that I would regard as state-of-the-art. Others are extremely old, and we need to invest in redevelopment. But the campus is actually very attractive. It's an urban campus, but we do have, a very well-defined campus just west of the White House. And we have had, a very strong group of students who become outstanding alumni, and we're very proud of the achievements that we have seen among our alumni. Being in Washington, D.C., many of our students become very interested in public policy and public service, and we've had a very strong record of achievement in having our alumni proceed on to take major leadership responsibilities, including being heads of state or government in other countries. We've had nearly 30 United States senators and nearly 30 United States governors. We have had a tremendous group of students, and though many people are talking about an enrollment cliff in the United States owing to the decline in D.C., many people want to be here. I find it to be a very stimulating environment, and I've enjoyed my time here immensely. I now would like to turn to the subject of our panel, future work. But I would like to underscore that we need to nurture the development of our youth to be involved in meaningful work. And the meaningful work is going to be associated with major challenges that face society. Of course, advancing human health is a universal objective, and universities, colleges, and other higher education institutions can contribute to the human resources that will be needed to advance human health. It is said that the second point here, overcoming climate change, is the challenge of the century. Producing the energy that we need at an affordable cost without adversity in the environment is a huge challenge. There is an enormous effort underway globally, and this is going to involve the need for talented human resources that will solve this challenge. Of course, nutritious food and clean water is important for a growing global population. The challenge is very significant here because most of the agricultural land is now fully deployed. So improving the efficiency of agriculture is going to be a very significant challenge. Finally, I would like to note that most of the developed countries of the world are facing an aging population. And this is a challenge for the United States. It's a challenge for Western Europe. It's certainly a challenge for Japan and South Korea, and population of so-called elderly people that is larger than the entire population of the United States. Aging of society brings with it social, economic, and human health challenges. As you are doubtless aware, neurodegenerative diseases, especially Alzheimer's, accompany aging, and we see this as one of the huge problems for the future. In the United States, higher education is very diverse. There are about 4,000 institutions. They range in terms of what they actually do, from basically training technicians and craftsmen to PhD programs that prepare some of the research innovators that we're going to need to address the global problems. The diversity of higher education in the United States meets the needs of what we have as a very diverse population. My experience in India suggests that you too have many diverse institutions of higher education, and you have certainly a diverse population. For the United States, we have institutions that are focused on preparing people for the crafts, carpenters, plumbers, electricians, welders, masons. These people are extremely important to society, perhaps not as valued as they should be, but there is a paucity of individuals who are doing this kind of work, and training for the crafts is an important agenda item here in the United States. AI is going to do a lot, but they're not going to be able to fix your plumbing problems or your electrical problems by simply using AI. AI can certainly help in terms of addressing those kinds of problems, but individuals are actually going to be involved in building things. Community colleges are generally public two-year institutions that prepare people for important activities, including science technicians, dental hygienists, and the like. But this can also be an inexpensive preparation for a four-year degree obtained by a college or a research university. And of course, there are public and private four-year colleges, and there are, of course, public and private research universities. We in America are especially proud of the public and private research universities, ranging from the University of Michigan to Harvard and Stanford, and we believe that this area of activity is extremely important in shaping the future. But the bottom line is that the diversity of higher education institutes are all needed, from preparing new carpenters, to providing dental hygienists, to educating large numbers of people to enter industries and all walks of life. And of course, at research universities, we hope to be able to create new knowledge that's going to lead to new opportunities for everyone and contribute to solving the global problems. So the role of higher education is to, in effect, transform lives, prepare leaders, and at research universities, it's especially important that we steward knowledge and create new knowledge. And this is intended to build both economic security and enhance human health. We also have universities at the forefront of advancing culture and building mutual understanding. I've come to appreciate very much being here in Washington, D.C., where we have an extraordinarily international community. All of the top diplomats of the world have their key ambassador here in the United States. I've had the privilege of meeting with the ambassador to the United States from India, and we celebrated the opening of a textile exhibit featuring textiles of over 1,000 years old here at our textile museum. Research universities do educate professionals, just as at Kalinga Institute. Many people enter professional work directly from their higher education experiences at research university. The important thing to me is that research universities obviously are dedicated to creating new knowledge. This leads to new fields associated with major new jobs creation. In the last couple of decades, for example, advances in biology have led to a huge industry employing large numbers of people. And of course, advances in computer science have led to tremendous changes in how we live, work, and play. And this has been associated with major new companies coming into existence during the last half of my lifetime. Here are a few major companies that have proven to be stemming from advances in the creative efforts of many people. It's not the case, of course, that universities are the sole source of new knowledge, but at many corporations, the innovators are educated at research universities and other institutions of higher education. One of the most important areas of activity of major research universities is to spawn innovation and entrepreneurship. And at all of the major innovation centers in the United States, it's always the case that a major research university is a cornerstone, a foundation for the work that leads to important innovation. In Silicon Valley, there is strength from 3 universities, indeed. The University of California at Berkeley, the University of California at San Francisco, and of course, Stanford University. In Cambridge, Massachusetts, you have Harvard, 1 mile away, you have MIT. Just across the Charles River, you have Boston University, you have Tufts University, you have Brandeis. Boston is a focus of higher education and innovation and entrepreneurship. The important point is that there is a conscious effort to move the new knowledge that's uncovered to development and commercialization to benefit society. As we think about the future and we think about our youth, it is my hope that all of the effective participants in the workforce will exhibit these important characteristics. And we know that we have an opportunity to transform lives at institutions of higher education, and I'm looking forward to working with people from all across the United States, for sure, and we have students from more than 100 countries, including, of course, many from India. And to just close, I would like to note that we often talk about preparing people for leadership, and sometimes we mistake that to be meaning that a person must run something that's very large, a country, a corporation, even a university. But you can be a leader as an individual. Of course, you can be the most outstanding opera singer. You can be a poet. You could be a military general. But if you're an outstanding contributor, you can also be a leader. And I believe that we have the opportunity to prepare leaders in every respect. In preparing leaders, we have the responsibility to provide a deep educational experience, and I believe that early on, students need to be involved in original scholarship, and this will lead them to be able to contribute new knowledge very early in their lives and careers and participate in building new enterprises. These leaders are going to create a much brighter future for the world. We're going to be able to overcome climate change, build economic security, and address the global problems that I've already mentioned. Further, I believe that our new leaders are going to be able to advance culture and advance our society, building a better world for everyone. I would like, again, to thank you for having me, and I look forward to the other contributions and to hearing the questions that might arise.
Thank you, Mark. We have heard to Professor Mark, and what we have realized that in the George Washington University, the university is diversifying its activities to different sectors. It's including different needs of the communities, coming closer to the people, societies, and industries to address to the need of the future of the work. We are having with us Mr. Sambit Nanda, who is the proud alumni of KIIT. He is the Senior Director of Oracle Corporation, San Francisco, USA. He is with us. Mr. Nanda, you have studied in KIIT and working in USA. You have heard to Professor Mark. Another one thing I would like to say to Professor, with permission of Professor Mark, that KIIT University and George Washington University is signing the MOU. We have already signed and sent it to them. The legal clearance and everything is over. And maybe in 2-3 weeks, KIIT will be there in George Washington University to have the celebration of signing of the MOU.
Very good. Thank you.
Yes. My students are here, so for their information, I would like to say that the undergrad students, BTech students of KIIT will be studying here for 4 years. Only for 1 year, you have to go to George Washington University to do MS in business. After that, we will be getting the work visa and STEM visa to work there itself. So that's the announcement. So, Miss, yeah, thank you. So, Mr. Nanda, can you say that what is the difference, how the Indian universities are addressing to the future of the work and how American universities are preparing themselves to address this? And you are working in a very good MNC in San Francisco, and you are exposed to different MNCs and different activities, different work, interacting with the newcomers to the industries, and you must have certain knowledge about the aspiration of the new entrants in the industries, people, those who are coming fresh from the university. So can you say that what is the difference between the Indian university, American universities, what is the need of the industry, and what really the universities should do to address to the future of the work required by the industries?
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's an honor and a privilege again to talk on behalf of the university, being an alumni here. And I studied at KIIT in 2002, passed out in 2002 in electrical engineering, then gone on to do my MBA from IIM Bangalore, and then have been since working in MNCs, mostly in different fields, again, in software stack, starting off doing database internals, middleware technologies, applications, and now mostly AI, ML, and analytics. So I'm the engineering leader for Oracle Analytics Cloud. It's again a software that deploys itself on cloud and scales elastically for analytics workloads. Having heard all of you, actually, it's great to see such collaborations. The university has come a long way since 2002. We hardly had basic building blocks back then, and to see such a crowd full of students in an auditorium, it's really heartening. I think it's a proud moment. I would say one that I would have never imagined when I passed out in 2002. So I'm sure the universities are doing the best to actually get on the right path, to go where they want to go and to take the students along. I think the success of the students and the alumnus is actually a testament to what great work that the university has put in and continues to do actually in the lives of students. Having said that, I think the few questions I want to sort of talk about, and I don't have presentations or the slides. Actually, it's going to be open talk. Hopefully, I'll make sense while I talk through all of it.
That's fine. Yes.
And the first thing I would say is that there's not a lot of difference between the universities that I've studied in India versus universities here. The research focus is there in the KIIT days, early days. I remember that we were also focused on research. We were focused on innovation. We were focused on understanding the core components of the building blocks. So I would say the basics were taught very well, and I think the same thing carries over. The important points Mark covered actually about innovations, leadership, and the attributes of the next generations, they stand across the world actually. The ethics, the ethos, the passion about the new stuff that you want to work, that stands across the world. I'm sure that we all doing things in the right direction. A few things I would like to call out from the heart of Silicon Valley. Basically, being a technical architect and advisor to some of the Silicon Valley startups, in addition to what I do at Oracle, what I see is a few things actually. Going forward, we are at a sort of inflection point in the industry. It is at the same scale as I would say steam engines were discovered or internet was invented. AI and ML, use of all of AI ML technologies in your day-to-day life is an inflection point in the industry. It is, we can all be shocked, and the typical human emotions go through when we are shocked at looking at a new technology. Then there'll be slow acceptance, and finally we would all believe that it was always essential, and we are going through that cycle actually of human emotions. Having said that, I would say that the next generation coming out of the college are required to understand AI per capita sort of production will become more cheaper with the advent of the augmented technologies. And I think that's going to be the core uh, underlying theme as the new generation shifts into the industry. They would see a lot of aided tools are surrounding them when they're building the next set of software, which is a good thing. According to me, it's a great thing because the human capital or the intellectual capital that lives with humans still would be very essential to bridge all of these pieces together. The humans are the only set of skilled people who would take different components of software and bridge them together. We are still years away from a world where somebody would give a software requirement and the software would automatically get produced. That world is years away, and hence in the process, the new generation, once they start using these aided tools, they would sort of become more efficient in what they do. The second point, which I definitely would like to stress upon, is students coming out of the university, they would face a sort of peculiar environment which we had not seen, which is to launch their careers into a hybrid work environment, which would mean that some of them would be remote, working with teams globally. And it's a great skill that they have to inculcate in terms of effectively communicating over the electronic media. So everything is not in person. People are not handshaking. People are not meeting every day. So you need to still figure out a very effective mechanism of communicating through electronic media. And that's an essential part of how successful you would become on a job actually. And that is something I would say is a skill that everybody has to inculcate and have to sort of, that's very different from the days when pre-COVID world when everything was in person and people used to come into office every single day. And the third thing I would say, given all the sort of repetitive mundane tasks get moved out to these automated systems, the humans are more reserved for doing more of the creative work, which essentially means that people spend their time with building something more intellectually enticing and interesting, which would mean that there would be a lot of fields where people would hop into different creative assignments during a single day, because all the repetitive stuff they do through the day, like writing a report or sort of composing a white paper, would get automated through these large language models that are being used in the industry today. And I think the other important thing to remember is because there'll be also competition. So this has not happened in the past, but a large section of the workforce that launches their careers now will have to compete with the technologies that would produce some of the automated software. So people don't have to sort of learn a whole bunch of programming languages if they're launching their careers in software. The system would produce some of the language constructs for them, which means that their pace of learning in different fields and more creative technologies would have to be augmented, which means that they will have to spend a lot of time reskilling themselves in areas which would be above and beyond mundane sort of tool code generation, which used to happen in the old days. So people would not write a lot of utility functions in software industry. They would write more sort of overarching architecture, large complex softwares, which would do more complex operations. So the pace of learning has to be picked up given the environments of AI and ML. And then the good part, I think not everything is doom and gloom, because the good part is that given all the mundane tasks start to shift out to machine and automation, people are likely to have more focus on their work-life balance, more focus on time with their families, and so on and so forth. I would say for the guys coming out of college, I think the key important thing is to embrace the new technologies and basically enjoy the inflection point there that the opportunity provides you.
Thank you, Mr. Nanda. You have focused on future of the technology, particularly in AI and ML. We are having with us Professor Krishna Dev Kumar from University of Toronto Metropolitan University, Canada. And Professor Kumar, you work on artificial intelligence. You are also developing the products on artificial intelligence. And you are also working on IoT, and since last couple of weeks, lots of discussions are there globally that how artificial intelligence will be impacting the society, impacting the social behavior, how it will be creating the social disruptions, and how it will be creating impact on the future of the work and lives itself. So how do you find that the future of technology either envisioned or it is coming of that will be impact to the youth, and particularly how it is impacting the behavior of the students in the university, and how the university is preparing itself that either students can be connected to the future of the technology, or they will be responsible for the developing of the or using of the future technology. How those youth are being prepared for all those things.
Thank you so much. Right? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I hear.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Right? It's first of all a great pleasure, right, to be here again, and I really basically congratulate you to organizing such a interesting basically event, and basically helping students and youths actually. And I will certainly talk about the work, what I have done, and also along with that, I will answer the basically questions. So let me share the slides actually, what I prepared.
Sir, we are already late. You please finish in
I will be quick.
6
I
minutes.
will not take more time. I understand. Thank you. Maybe basically 10 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever time you decide, I will try to do with that time.
5 to 6 minutes.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's nice. So let me share. Yeah. Can you? So I will. Can you see the screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so just I will talk about Industry 4.0 and what I do, right? As I already told, I'm basically professor at aerospace engineering as well as director of artificial intelligence for aerospace systems. I've been working on AI for more than 20 years actually, so I can certainly tell a lot, but I will be very precise on the technology, where we are moving forward. I also have a company which delivers products on AI actually. So I will also touch upon it, what we do actually change it. And then we'll touch upon about the youth. First of all, we should understand what it is and why and how. So if I go closely actually instead of as we already know, we moved from 18th century, how the technology moved at the end, it is Industry 4.0. So if we try to see here, it is Industry 4.0 is nothing but, so I was trying to figure out what is the very simplest definition. It is good for all of you, audience actually, is described as a digitization of manufacturing and its integration into the digital ecosystem of value chain. The whole point is now on Industry 4.0, we are digitizing, right, all the information. That is what the task is done in a very, short basically form. Now it is why we want to do it actually, because somewhere when the technology comes, we need to understand why. First of all, every time when technology is there is an expected return on investment. So already it has been documented. It is going to, within the 2 years, 55%, then 2 to 5 years, 37. So there is a return and investment is there. One can really great benefit. And then basically cost reduction in terms of aerospace industry, right? So you can see every industry, right, is going to benefit with this technology in terms of dollars, because whenever we talk to industry, we have to say it is going to benefit them in terms of dollars. Now comes how it can be done, right? What task it has to be involved. So undoubtedly it involves, right, big data, where what we try to say, and it's a very interesting, I think, information is there. 46% says better forecast. If we can do better forecast, that is what the great benefit can be there. Understand plant performance across multiple metrics, that's a 45%, and the service is there. So these are some of the areas we need to focus more, other areas we don't need to focus as we move forward. Now comes what Isaac Systems, we developed, we call a product which is called 2PQ. 2P stands for increasing productivity and second P stands for profitability. So it is an AIA basically, a driven powered machine learning algorithm and IoT actually, because Isaac System develops predictive analytics as well as IoT device. It comprises of real-time storage, so you store the data. It can also interface with existing Microsoft other software. Now, what it does actually for manufacturing, right? So we have, these are the areas, right? So what maintenance, self-diagnosis, cost reduction, statistical process control, which was done earlier manual, right? And some basically computer, now AIA powered actually, also does real-time optimization and machine uptime, right? Whole idea is to how to keep the machine running 24/7. And finally, it basically does forecasting actually. And now, what is the underlying technology, right? So since we are storing the data and we do analytics, so it is based on Hadoop. AIA is in the center, Kafka, Spark, and TensorFlow. So all of these technology will be really interesting, right? The student should know. And now, just to give you the glimpse of where we are working on with airlines now, where we receive the data pool is there, and then we have the algorithm, and we try to predict the fault beforehand, let's 6 months ahead when a system is going to fail. Now you will say why other still system is failing. That's a different story. But this is what my company and my research does. And also we predict remaining useful life of all the subsystems on board actually. And then this is a digital twin, which has been developed, very high fidelity model, where we have an aircraft actual flying, and we have a digital twin of all the subsystems, including now we worked on battery powered. As you know, the electric aircraft is also coming. So that's what we do actually here. And this digital twin, what it will give you capability now, whatever is happening there, you can know here itself. So you don't need to basically, check the same problem at the actual place. And these are the applications we are already doing on aerospace, transportation, manufacturing, and food waste management. So basically, if you try to see, AIA is going to disrupt every areas actually. It is all up to us how we can use this technology and basically benefit on that. And these are already our customers: NASA, Bombardier, Mitsubishi, Mitsubishi Heavy Industry, Magna, Safran. So we across all US companies, we work with them, Canadian companies, or also we work with Indian companies now actually. And these are the use cases to tell you the story, right, which work with the NASA Ames. So when we see on the system, so there were actuator failures. It was told that this has failed instantaneously. But when we put this AI algorithm, it could detect at least 6 months ahead there were problems. And then it can say what is the remaining useful life without actual data actually, right? Data has only been trained, right, till you get, initial information. So 6 months ahead, and also you can have a better prediction. You also work with the turbofan engine with Pratt & Whitney, and it finally said, interesting results. We are also working with manufacturing industry to do IoT device and predictive analytics, right? Yeah, so keeping this, now I will tell you about the skills, right? Undoubtedly, the industry 4.0 is going to change what skills you want. As you have seen on the slides, right? You need to be more conversant on artificial intelligence, whether you like it or not. This is the day. I teach AIA. So that's what you need to understand, what AIA can do or what AIA can't do. And you must have more programming skills, and as well as you must also understand in terms of the job, as somebody has already saying, but what I try to say, there will be great disruption of the jobs. Wherever the jobs involve routine work, that is going to disappear. So you need to be more expert on any area where AIA tools you can use and make the system smart, what basically we call it, right? This is how the disruption is going to happen. That's all. And if there is any question, I'll be happy to answer it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I hope I met your timeline. Right?
Yes. Thank you. So my next question is to Mr. B.K. Misra, who is the Vice President and Global Head of Tech Mahindra Hyderabad. We all are discussing about how to make our institutions, organization sustainable and equitable and accessible to all. And while we all are discussing today about future of work, Industry 4.0, and we are discussing about the future technologies those who are coming, and industries will be requiring the manpower for using those technologies in the industries, working on those technologies, then how industries are preparing themselves to make their industry inclusive. As we know that all the institutions, organizations, industries, they work for the people. And as long as the institutions, organizations are not inclusive, it is not representing all the sectors of the society, we all understand that maybe at some point of time, it will be required that they should go to the people. There should be a place where the people from each and every sector is present, and they are working in their industry to make their institution, organization relevant to the world. So what is the Tech Mahindra is doing, or any industry is doing wherever you are working, or all the MNCs are doing to make the industries inclusive?
Thank you for the opportunity to speak in this event. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So first of all, I mean, you asked a very wonderful question about inclusivity, diversity, and how you create a talent pool that would help in sustainability and creating an equitable world. Before answering that, let me, and I'll be very brief. I know we have a time constraint. So first is that what is exactly what we believe Industry 4.0. And then I will answer all these things in the context of Industry 4.0. We believe that Industry 4.0 is all about smart manufacturing, smart factories, and smart cities, and a connected world, smartphones, connected experience for the people and communities across the world. And we need to understand first that what are the underlying technologies that is driving this Industry 4.0, because we have seen Industry 3.0, and after 50 years now, we are in the cusp of Industry 4.0. And here I believe that AI, ML, and all these things are just one set of technologies, but it is a set of variety of technologies that is driving Industry 4.0, like cloud computing, AI, ML, of course, and machine-to-machine interactions, advanced robotics, 5G in a big way is driving Industry 4.0, then cognitive computing or cognitive automation, and very high-end analytics, big data and analytics, and 3D printing. And these are some of the technologies that is driving Industry 4.0. Now the question is that what are the innovative things that we at the industry are doing or helping our customers? One or two things, my friend Professor Krishna Kumar, incidentally, we both are classmates. So he spoke about digital twin. Yes, digital twin is one of the areas where we all are working. But the other areas are condition-based maintenance or predictive and proactive maintenance by taking the insight from the equipment and from the machinery. And he spoke about that aircraft, very nice example of the aircrafts where we put the sensors and get the insight so that we can prevent a failure. But like that, there are so many areas in which we are working, because you spoke about innovation in the context of Industry 4.0, like computer vision, where you can find out the cracks and the corrosions and all those things. Similarly, remote support from a distance, the expert can support and give the guidance in the areas of healthcare, in all kind of in manufacturing and all those things. Then, of course, the AI and data analytics, where so much of data that we are collecting from the shop floors today. And now that because of the edge computing and Internet of the Things, and we are now talking about industrial Internet of Things, you can connect the shop floor to the top floor. right? You will be able to get those insights from the subfloors and use those insights to improve your productivity, improve your quality, improve your effectiveness, and ensure that you run the plants and factories and systems more efficiently. Now, the question is that while we all are talking about Industry 4.0, while we all are talking about all these technologies, we are talking about the various innovations that is currently worked in industries, in IT companies, in universities, and in various places. Now, how you create that talent pool that would be able to address these requirements? We believe that number one is there should be all the technologies that we spoke about. We have to completely revamp and reform I'm very sure KIIT is very much working in those areas, the curriculum, so that these are the technologies are taught with practical and immersive learning for the students while they are in the college. That is number one. Number two, we believe, and we are already doing those things, that setting up center of excellence, and that happens in US all the time. I have seen that for many, many years in US. I lived there for 10 years, and I've seen that most of the universities have got that collaboration with the industry, where we take those use cases and in our lab, we solve those problems. And in that process, actually what we are creating, that we are creating that talent pool for the industry. The BTech students, the MTech students, the PhD students that are involved in those problem solvings, and they're involved in those use cases and assignments that we are getting from the industry, in active collaboration and participation of the industry players. In that process, actually we are creating that talent pool, who after leaving the university, they will be very easily can be getting into the industry and become productive from the day one. And that is where we call that you are creating industry grade professionals from your colleges. So that is the thing that we are trying to do. We are also now participating with various universities and trying to do that. I'll just finish it with just one statement, because you asked a very good question about how you are making it equitable. In that, we have set up some direction that how we will bring, at least in some of the areas, minimum 50% participation from women participation. And in the beginning itself, we have created a criteria that we will have at least 32, currently we are operating at 30%, but we have set a target that we will get it to 50%, so that we create a equitable world and we create that gender equity. Gender equality will not solve the problem, because we are not starting at the same place. Since we like it or not, the various genders are starting at different places. We have to put some effort to see that how we can provide better facilities and opportunities for the girl students and women, so that we can create a gender equity talent base in our society and in our industries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. When whole countries, women are trying to have 32% reservation everywhere, then you are talking about 50% reservation or 50% target in Tech Mahindra to have the women employee there. So I think it's a very good news for all the women students, the people those are preparing to go to the industries, if that will be benchmarked. Ma'am, Professor Geeta Das is with us. She is the Vice Chancellor of a State University, Barampur University in the state of Odisha. And with the university department, she is having more than 100 colleges affiliated to this university. He is having few 100,000 students with her, and particularly catering to the need of the rural area students in that university. Ma'am, as the university is situated in the southern Odisha, and most of major percentage of the students studying in this university are coming from the rural Odisha. So how do you feel that, what is their aspiration from the education system, and what is their aspiration from their future of work they are preparing themselves to go? And as we are talking about that, how university should prepare itself to cater to the need of the aspiration of the students and make them industry ready, And I think students must have some aspirations at the institutions, universities like yours, those who are mostly catering to the need of the rural institution, how they are expecting that industries will be accepting such students. What should be the process of the intake or process of recruiting the students from such universities will be the, I can say that that can be taken as the example for the future.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity you have given me to share some of my feelings, some of my observations. And this is a very apt topic and the discussion is very important. Coming to the university, that we are always striving for equity and opportunity and accessibility for the rural students. So that is very important at the moment. But what you are talking about industry 4.0, etc. So as a person from social science background, I will start with the youth policy and what exactly we should do in India and where we lack. We can just have a little bit of discussion on that, because youth is the future of this country. Youth, they are the one, they will be the policy makers, they will be the fortune makers of every country of this in this globe, because globalization has made had said that it is a flat world. So youth, they are the one with a local solution to all global socio-economic problems. No distance, difference, and boundary has stopped youth globally from driving social change as well as steer Fortune 500 companies. Whatever we are seeing, whatever is happening, it is a silent revolution is taking place everywhere, be it industry, be it society. It is behind every change, the youth is instrumental. Youth in Argentina, they take football seriously, if we say. And if Sweden and Nordic nations, they are vocal about climate change. Indian youth is rooted in culture and social values, are spearheading startups. So as stakeholders and builders of tomorrow, youthful vigor, vitality, and vibrancy is it is unmatched. So as they will inherit the future they build, it is imperative for the world to pay heed to their words and provide meaningful platform to channelize their emotions, energy, and actions. So this is why you have taken this initiative. It's a very important initiative. So youth can be a powerful engine which can drive the global aspirations. 287 million Indian citizens are in the age of 10 to 22, which we consider as youth. ILO data says average age in India is 29, which is it's a youngie, it is called Youngistan. It's a young India, we can say. Amazingly, the youngest nation. But this demographic dividend could be a demographic disaster if not properly guided and mobilized. So the most important thing is to have a very strong and robust youth policy. 2/3 of our employers, they respond that most of the employees are not having any talent. So they said only 2.3% of entire workforce receive training in formal skills. What we were talking, all the industry people were discussing that. And in USA it is 52% and in UK it is 68%. So artificial intelligence, data analytics, robotics, program-driven services are important areas where we can divert our youth energy. India ranks among top 5 in terms of startups. School, college education should be oriented towards entrepreneurial skill. The generation is techno-savvy. Propensity of prosperity is important than stability for them. So a focus on India's youth is first step towards this self-reliance. So a question arises, are we investing in our youth? 214 National Youth Policy says that 7.5% population belong to youth category. The total investment on youth on education, skill, employment, healthcare, and subsidy amounts to only 1% of GDP. So this is a moot question in front of us. So 33% of India's skilled youth are unemployed. 50 lakh youth are expected to be entering the workforce annually. It's a challenge to make every young man as a productive member of the society. The goal will become tougher with it has become tougher with the pandemic. So some of the priority areas which should be taken up by all policy makers, by all academicians, and by all seniors, the first is to have education, employment and skill development and entrepreneurship. So that is the first, so that we can create a productive workforce that can make a sustainable contribution. The second is health and healthy lifestyle. So that should be our priority area, the second priority area, and sports should also be given importance, so that it will develop a strong and healthy generation equipped to take on the future challenges. The third area is promotion of social values. So these are also very important, because we are now talking in terms of inculcating Indian value system in the minds of the young generation. That has become a very important concern for all of us. So values like equity, equality, liberty, and constitutional values are also important. And so that is another area of concern which should be given, which should be prioritized. And the fourth is community engagement. Community engagement nowadays, Government of India and Government of Odisha also giving lot of importance on NSS. So that is campus to community, college and village, to connect the college and village, and knowledge and action. So this is another very important area. And one more area is participation in politics and governance. Youth participation in governance. So so that is also a very important area of concern, because by that they will have a good transition to the citizenship. So that is very important. And youth engagement, what you are doing now. So that is important. And another most important is to include, that is inclusion, like support the youth at risk. So these are all some of the important area which we should focus on to make it inclusive, to make it industry ready, or whatever we can say.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would request to the audience one question for each speaker.
Yeah, we would open the session for some questions from the audience. You can raise your hands and then we'll bring the mic to you.
Thank you so much, everybody. May I start the question with Professor Samant itself? Ma'am, it was such a pleasure hearing you coordinate and moderate such wonderful topics. You yourself are kind of a pioneer of education for the state, especially for the tribals, the kind of frontiers that you have opened for districts which were untouched by any form of modern amenities, and education opens up all the possibilities. Ma'am, what are your specific learnings about the girl children who come from the parts, and what kind of skill and industry linkages are especially relevant for them? Thank you.
KIIT and KISS are engaged in tribal education since last 25 years. And in last 25 years, the model has been developed here for particularly keeping an eye on the requirement of the girls' children, maintaining the safety and security in the campus. Because as we bring the tribal students from rural areas, which is very interior area, and those children are not exposed to the social system. They are not that much exposed to the social system. So we have made an ecosystem in the campus itself. assess they will never bother about safety and security in the campus. Second is that how the naturalism or natural ecosystem can be maintained in the campus, assess those children will not feel that they are away from their home, and the transition from the home to the campus will be much more convenient. For that, what we have done, we have made a system that the senior students, the teachers of the same, from the same tribal community, they are engaged with such young children, young girls, those who are coming from their locality to the campus. They are engaged with them for 3 years to make their transition much more smooth, and I can say that should be seamless for them. We should not do it very hurriedly that they will think that they have come from a place and in the campus of the university where they are not finding themselves fitting to the system, that they will be able to learn something else rather than being bothered about their home, bothering about their relationship, emotions, and other things. Third is that whatever is asking about how we are preparing our students to cater to the need of the industry. Here I can say that particularly if I take the example of tribal institution, what he has asked for, that in the tribal institution, the system we have experimented, that each and every student has been given the full freedom to choose their own career, either in sports or in education or in technology or medicine or art and craft, whatever they want to do, or community development, architecture, whatever they want to do. After the class 5, each and every student has been given the free choice to choose their own career, and we give them 3-4 years time to experiment on their talents and to stick to that and to continue with that. And another thing coming to the technology and the MNCs, as you know that, of course, those tribal students are also playing in SCR, they are playing in Commonwealth, they are playing in different national games in the national teams of this country. With that, those students are qualifying even for the engineering, medicine, they are qualifying the JEE, JEE Main, JEE Advanced, they are qualifying NEET, they are studying in different institutions. In KIIT also they are qualifying engineering and medicine, and 5% seats are reserved for them. And those students are being given the special care, special attention through the tutor mentoring system of the university and a special advisory system of CASE, that how they will be slowly learning the technology, they will be passionate for the education, whatever they are learning. In tribal institution, the main objective of that institution to create passion for education, to create passion for the knowledge. And whatever they are learning, either technology, medicine, social science, the passion is created and slowly they get connected to this. And of course, many students are qualified to work in MNCs still now. Many students, maybe more than 1,000 students are working in different MNCs all over the country or globe.
Thank you very much. So my question is more of an extension from what Vice Chancellor Ma'am said. So I guess I'm seeking a bit more clarity. So a question was asked earlier with regards to the skill gap discrepancy, which I think we can all agree is mainly due to the pedagogy of the various schools, whether by the government or institutions design, right? So it is easier for a way forward to be mapped at institutions like KIIT or George Washington, because we are naturally exposed to technology. This is practically a digital ecosystem, right? But I would like to think that for rural setups, like Mem was saying, that the youths in rural setups have got a different situation altogether. So my question is, therefore, are there any frameworks that have been put in place to accommodate or to accelerate the inclusion of youths in rural areas, so that by 2030, we are convinced that more than 50% of youths have got a chance of actually being in the work industry 4.0? Thank you.
Skill gap is really too much in traditional universities, in conventional universities. And NEP, if adopted properly, then it will definitely address this question of skill gap, because it is emphasizing on experiential learning and industry academia connect. University needs to have collaboration with industries and many other technical institutions. So all these questions are, can be addressed only by the adoption of NEP. Otherwise, in Indian traditional university, as you told, all the colleges, 188 colleges, almost 100 colleges are in rural areas. So with this traditional syllabus or this course structure, curriculum or pedagogy, it is very difficult to address and to make them industry ready what we need, what is the need of the hour. That is very difficult. Now we are adopting to send the students of every department to some industry or to some startups. We are inviting some entrepreneurs to educate them. We are taking small steps, but this is not sufficient, I think.
So if I may, ma'am, I would like to add a point here.
Yes.
Is that, am I audible? Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So I would like to add here that what steps we are taking in this direction. The one thing that we are trying to do in Odisha now from Tech Mahindra in collaboration with the government of Odisha is that we will be going to the districts like Keonjhar and Sundargarh, and we'll try to get, at least now we have targeted to start with 1,000 number, that we will take all the BTech, BCA, MCA students that have passed in last 3 years. And because of the COVID, there might be some people who have not got any opportunity to get to the mainstream and to work in industries. We will pick up those students and will give a 6 months training in the areas of Java full stack, in the areas of cloud computing and all those things. And after 6 months, we have given a commitment that we will induct them into Tech Mahindra. So that is a small initiative through which we can get into the interior part of the state and try to give opportunity to people. And the other thing that we have agreed with the district collectors of those districts, that we will try to see if at all we can get 50% girl students in the mix. So that there we can solve the problem of this gender equality or gender equity, and how to give more opportunities to women to come to the mainstream.
Yeah. Question for Professor Mark.
Hello. I just attended another planetary session talking about research and how to make it more accessible. There was talks about INSA, and there were talks about inequality, gender inequality, etc. So I think a question I would ask to Professor Mark or even Professor Kumar is research. And since the topic over here is AI, and AI is very disruptive, we all know, what do you think are the barriers in research currently in the AI community, and how to make it more accessible so that, anyone in any college, no matter undergraduate or masters, can contribute to the field significantly, and what are the opportunities? Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I think there are many opportunities, and previous question about access to high-speed internet for the entire country is an issue for the United States. We have many rural areas in the United States where people are significantly disadvantaged by not having access to internet that is high speed. And we're working to develop that infrastructure. I might also note that in certain urban areas, there is also a significant disadvantage in areas where there is a degree of unfortunate poverty. And the lack of access to high-speed internet compromises everyone's ability to seek a position. And I believe that research in the area of AI is going to be very important. In fact, we have an initiative collaborative with the University of Maryland and Morgan State University, where we're striving to develop what is called trustworthy AI. This is intended to overcome some of the negatives associated with AI, and this will be, a very important area of exploration for many institutions in higher education, as well as for corporations that are using AI.
Thank you, Professor Mark. I think what I have understood that you have said that digitization is the most prominent social and industrial behavior today. And for the more and more students to get connected with the innovation and research, we have to identify, focus on certain institutions and provide the opportunities to the youth for that. Thank you for this. Now I request the audience to have one question for Mr. Nanda.
Can I add something?
Yes.
I really fascinated. Can I add something? Okay. First of all, right, and no doubt infrastructure is important, but in general, already India is doing well, in my opinion, is doing well. Internet is everywhere now. Computers are already there. When I was studying at my university, the situation was very bad. No. Okay, things are good. So I think most point is in AIA, right? In terms of getting the data, right? So somehow university has to or collaborate with industry to get the data. If you don't have data, you can't do research. It's that itself stops. And getting the data and getting what you can say, cleaning the data, lot of work. My company does that work, for 1.5, 2 years, just to clean the data. Okay, so that's a lot of student has to understand, right? How to get the data right, collaborate with some of the players actually. Okay, and there are a lot of processes there on cleaning the data. Another point is on the AIA, right? It's not like, just learning the software will help you. You must understand in-depth knowledge of a system. If I am working on aircraft or spacecraft, I must be expert on that area, right? Expert. I should be knowing everything from end to end. If you think just you put a software, you get the result. We work with company, they give work to IBM, they get nothing out of it, okay? So for computer science, it is good. For engineers, it's a basically problem. So what I'm trying to do, you must have in-depth knowledge of the system, and now you certainly learn programming language, and then proceed further. So that is what my thinking is. These might be the barriers. Opportunities, there are a lot of opportunities in all the sector across. It is all up to you how you can grab those opportunities actually in brief.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
all.
Thank you. Yeah, question for Mr. Nanda, yes.
I have a question for Nanda sir is before the Industry Evolution 4.0, I believe it was all about like a machine that can help or bring more efficiency to the human field, right? Now, after the Industry Evolution of 4.0, it is all about like now machine can take the decision that, okay, now we can take decision and do the things whatever you want, what will be efficient for the man. So my point is like the greatest invention of the humans, like from fire to electricity to nuclear, now to the AI, it was all about like after a certain time, there is a war, like there is a problem between human that one country is using these kind of innovations as a weapon to other country, right? For example, cyber war, nuclear war. But however, in this situation, after the Industry Evolution 4.0, is there any possibility that the war will be converted, like it was before like human versus human, but is there any possibility like the war will be like human versus machine, as now machines can take their own decision, and after that like they want to conquer the world and human wants to basically survive in the world. So this is basically my question, that is there any possibility that there will be a war between human versus the machine or human versus the AI? Thank you.
Do you watch a lot of sci-fi movies? Do you happen to watch a lot of sci-fi movies?
Sir, yeah, I watch movie, but the thing is that it might be happen, right? Because now they have more intelligence than us. They have the power, they have the ability, efficiency more than us. So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, so I think I'll basically lead with a funny quote. Steve Jobs actually, when he built the first sort of PC, he had a grabbing hook at the back of the computer. And a lot of people ask him, why did he have that hook actually in the back of the computer? Apparently, he said to a lot of people is that he decided that whenever you wanted to throw a computer out of the window, that was the easiest way to pick it up and throw it out the window. At the end of the day, these are machines actually. These are machines that we control. We write code for it. We give them knowledge based on the history of what we have seen. They are exposed to the data that has happened in the human history. There are some new regenerative technologies, but they're all limited to the amount of creativity that has happened in the past. Future creativity, future intelligence of these machines would continue to evolve based on how much we let them look at our data and how much we make them learn the systems that we are comfortable with. So we control this ecosystem. I don't see any scenario where we could end up in a conflict with machines, actually. I think it's very far-fetched. But this was very interesting I would say, movie content to create around this theme, actually. But in reality, I don't think that is going to happen anytime soon.
Can I just add actually on some of this? First of all, can I add? Yeah. First of all, right, already there is a research going on heavily on human and machine interaction. Complete topic of research is there. So the point is already, I think, can you hear me? Or yeah. Can you? Yeah. Thanks. Okay. So yes. The whole idea is we want to get the benefit what machine is doing. In all cases, there is already precaution is being taken. If machine does something wrong already, so everywhere when AIA tools are there, since we don't know whether what AIA can do, already there is a precaution is there everywhere to safeguard this. And there is a research going on how human will interact with machines actually. That's all.
Thank you, sirs and ma'ams, for a very insightful discussion. Your thoughts and deliberation on the topic gave us a really great insight into the rich experience that you all carry. We would like to thank again Mr. Professor Mark, Mr. Sambit Nanda, Mr. Basant Kumar Mishra, and Dr. Krishnadev Kumar for joining us today virtually. We would extend our heartfelt gratitude to Professor Dr. Sasmita Samanta ma'am and Geeta Das ma'am, Vice Chancellor, Berhampur University, to be here with us physically and share their thoughts with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
May I request Dr. S.K. Mahapatra, Director KSOM, to please come on stage and felicitate our guest. We now have a small prize distribution ceremony. We had few students who had participated in various Y20 events and have won awards for that. I would like to call Mr. Omkar Patnaik, Class 12 Humanities, to please come on stage. He has been the winner of Odisha Literary Festival Group Debate, Shraddha Cruz, MUN, Rank 2 in Odisha and CLAT. Mr. Abhishek Shahu, Class 9, winner IIT Bombay Young Innovator Program and CBSE Science Fair Regional Sahodaya Science Fair. Can we have a big round of applause for our winners?
Ghanad Mohanta, Class 9, winner IIT Bombay Young Innovator Program and CBSE Science Fair Regional Sahodaya Science Fair. Ghanad Mohanta.
Guys, just hold on, please hold on. Please hold on. Please be seated. I repeat, please be seated.
Please take your seats. So
It will only take for a couple of minutes. Please be settled down. Thank you.
Sohini Mohanty, Class 10, Doubles Tournament, National Lawn Tennis, Runners-up in National Single, Asian and ITA Tournament, Nepal with 70+ All India titles. Bronze in ITF World Junior Tennis, Asia Oceanal Final. Sohini? No. Okay, Rishita Samantre, silver medal winner at national level horse riding competition, New Delhi, and Inspire Manak District Award. B. Lavanya for winning first prize at debate. Suhani Raut, second prize at debate. Suhani, can we please have you on stage? Sashwat Kumar Satpathy for first prize at debate. I'll be calling out the names. Can I request the students to please line up near the stage? Ipsita Panigrahi, first prize in debate. Ipsita. Rishita Padhi, third prize at debate. Prakash Kumar Kar, first prize at debate. Yashogamya Sahu, first prize at debate. Yashogamya. Samiksha Mahapatra, first prize at debate. Samiksha. Garita Hasini Patnaik, first prize at debate. Garita, can you please come on stage quickly? Shruti Suman Sahu, second prize at debate. Joydeep Malik, first prize at debate. Joydeep. Aradhna Panda, second prize at debate. Lipisida Padhi, third prize at debate. Suranjana Ghosh, third prize at debate. Jyotirmay Mishra, third prize at debate. Varsha Rani Mehra, first prize at debate. Varsha Rani. Ayushi Mishra, first prize at debate. Soumya Sucharita Sahu, second prize at debate. Suraj Kumar Buvalka, first prize at debate. Tilak Sarangi, first prize at debate. Barsarani Mehra. Barsarani Mehra, can somebody please tell her she can collect her certificate later from the office if she's not present here? With that, we come to the end. We thank our audience to be a very patient one. We thank all our dignitaries to give a very special time to us. We request all of you to join us for our cultural evening program at Campus 6. Thank you. Have a great